Hello, I'm Susan Green, Associate Curator of Special Collections, Archives, and Research at the Philbrook Museum of Art, and it is my amazing pleasure to welcome Caroline Divine to visit with us today. And Caroline, I'm so glad to get to talk to you today. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you, and you are truly divine.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And so we had, for Tulsa Treasures, our current exhibition, we did a call out on social media for people who had collections. And you posted an amazing collection on our Facebook or Instagram. And it was part one, I guess, one of your collections, because you have a ton of collections.
I do.
So one of your collections, and it was your My Little Pony collection. So I'm going to share a picture from our exhibition. So here we have what we've been calling our toy cabinet or toy chest wall with all of our toys. And then I should say a small portion of your My Little Ponies are on display.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is so cool. I love all types of toys, and yeah, I love this wall. It's so great.
Well, and I love the My Little Ponies because they are so vibrant and so colorful. And so I love My Little Ponies because of the television show and the whole 80s references. And to have this little like whimsy and moment of color and friendship in the wall is just really amazing.
Yeah, for me it's a lot of that. Like it's such a happy place, and like you can't be sad when you're looking at like all the rainbow and all the happy, for sure.
That is true. It is all about happy. So this is just a tiny portion of your collection. Are there any of these ponies that are favorites for you?
Oh man. I really love the purple one with the like atrocious like eyelashes, because I feel those vibes as an adult, like I love the ridiculous lashes and just like, yeah.
So she's in this image, she's the large image on the top right, and her lashes are like extra dark and extra flappy, and they're just majestic.
A lot of collectors actually remove them because they don't like them, but I'm like all about it. I think they're great. They're over the top fabulous.
And she has sparkly hair, like she has iridescent hair or glitter in her hair as it's coming down. And so you had said that this was one of your favorite ones. And so I put it up at the top in the corner so she would be looking down on her kingdom.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's fabulous.
Something that I was really surprised about, because I knew a tiny bit about My Little Ponies, but not a ton, were that ponies had costumes.
They did. Yeah, they definitely did. And, like most toy lines, it was a way to make even more money without having to like make more of the product, and like you need this, and telling kids like, oh, you need this in addition to that product. So it was a lot of fun, but for those toy companies it was like that little bit of extra money. But I was really excited to find this set. I actually found this one from a Craigslist ad, and I drove 2 hours to pick up a giant box of ponies, and this was in it complete, and I squealed for like 10 minutes. It was hilarious.
I don't blame you. It is fantastic. So it's a pony knot, an astronaut costume. And I love the idea ponies can go into space. Ponies aren't just, the unicorns and the Pegasus. They are astronauts too. And it is a glittery, sparkly, perfect astronaut costume.
Yeah, sure. So the pony knot costume I see as kind of like, it kind of interconnects. Hasbro, the maker of My Little Pony, also had a line that was called Moon Dreamers, and Moon Dreamers was created purely to sell toys. They later created the cartoon in order to back the toy line, but I see those as kind of like marrying in a weird way. And Moon Dreamers had little creatures you could ride that were kind of similar to My Little Ponies, but they had molded hair instead of the soft hair.
Well, you've got to be able to style the hair.
I don't know. Cleaning the molded ones is a lot easier. So, and I feel like a lot of My Little Ponies got thrown away in time because, girls would get stuff in their hair. And
True.
I've had this debate with many male collectors about why there's more girl toys versus boy toys that exist. And I've heard a lot of answers that I think are bogus. But I think the biggest one, truest one is girls' toys had hair. They got gross. They got thrown away.
Yeah, actually, that's true. That is true. Or you would cut it, or it just would get frizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to just trash them instead of try and clean them, because
Uh-huh.
once something's gross like that, you kind of go back to it sometimes.
True. Even today with like American Girl dolls, I know that there's still there's that continual problem of how to keep them neat and clean, and but still get to play with them.
Right.
So are any of these ponies that we have on display, were they, how did you get started collecting ponies?
So I collected as a kid. My parents took us around flea markets as kids. I was born in '88, so they started before my time. But since my parents took me to flea markets and like had a lot of fun doing that, I acquired a lot of them that way. And I've just kind of continued casually off and on through my whole life. And I finally have spaces now that I can actually have them out and enjoy them and display them. So that's cool.
Yeah, so let's show the next image, which is a couple of different spaces. And I mean, this truly, it's like the breadth of your ponies. First of all, I love the way you have them displayed on the left picture. I love the color. I love the sense of like joy that you get in this space. Like you have this amazing sense. And then the selfie on the right, that space with the more I look at it, the more I absolutely love it. Like the cloud carpet and the heart pillow, and of course your clothes and your shoes. Everything is just joy and whimsy and sparkle.
You know, I'm a firm believer in like surrounding yourself with the things you love and like the things that make you happy, whatever that is. Like it might not be as like silly as mine is for most people, but like it's that whole like Marie Kondo thing. Does it spark joy? And like this is what sparks joy for me, and I'm about it. You know, I think it's really fun to have your own space that feels like safe and happy, and that you can go to at the end of the day and just have some escapism.
Absolutely. And it truly is. I mean, while this isn't my collection, I get joy. I absolutely see the joy in these spaces. So
Good, I'm glad.
and it also, like, your pony collection shows this range of color and vibrancy and everything that I remember about the ponies and about sort of 80s toys in general, just this like total hot pop of color.
Yeah. Yeah, I love 80s music. I love 80s imagery. Like I love the 80s toys for sure. There's just something about that time that, you know, and I love the 90s too. Like the ponies definitely dip into like 90s. The line runs into the 90s, but yeah, there's just something magical about the vibrant and mixed with the pastels, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
funny,
then
my apartment pretty like divided out. I have like the spooky downstairs and then the like light bright upstairs, because I was a teenage goth and occasionally still dabble in that realm. So you got to have that duality, right? Like
that's true. It is
yeah,
kind of the duality, the yin and yang. So
yeah.
so as a teenager or earlier, you were kind of the dark side, and now you are sort of, you present with light and joy. I love this kind of idea of you and your personality.
I like both. I like both a lot. Like I dabble in both worlds, and I like to be able to do that. I think life would be really boring if we had to get too dead set on being one specific thing, you know?
Yeah, and life is too short to be boring. So I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And then I would love for you to talk about your fashion sense. I see your shoes. I see your Barbie dress. I love what you're wearing today with your necklace and your hair and everything. So is fashion an interest for you?
It is. I have 2 degrees from OSU. My first one was apparel design. And like, I've just always been, my grandma taught me how to sew when I was 5. And so I started making my own clothes and like customizing my own things. And, you know, my side hustle in college was buying and selling vintage clothes. And so, you know, I love self-expression through physical items, which, you know, clothing, shoes, anything like that. I worked in the accessory design field for about 4 years here in Tulsa for a jewelry company.
Oh, really?
I just love making my own stuff. I love like having things that other people don't have, and the best way to do it is do it yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's interesting how sometimes sewing, like if you learn from your grandmother, sometimes sewing and sometimes some of those things skip generations. And I love that it was this is from your grandmother. I love that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a really creative woman. She was it's funny, she was of that generation where people were just expected to have kids, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I don't think she was the type of woman that, like, she was a beauty queen in Kansas, and, like, she very much, like, could have done other things if she was born in modern day. But she was very creative, and, you know, she made clothes for her kids because she needed to. She had 4 kids, you know, a lot of kids. And so she, like, made my mom's prom dresses, and she made one so scandalous that my mom got sent home for wearing. But she was a very, very colorful lady, and, like, I still remember, like, we went to the fabric store once, and I picked out a pattern of something I wanted to make, and the lady at the store told us it was too difficult for us. And I remember my grandma just, like, going off and her being like, absolutely not. And we went home and we made that. Like, it was cool, yeah. So she was a spirited, creative woman, and I like to think I inherited a little bit of that.
I think so, absolutely. That creativity, that, like, I can see that, like, grit and that determination and just the joy of, like, let's do it and figure it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. And it would drive her crazy, and I still joke from time to time. She's many years past at this point, but she wanted to make a pattern for everything, and I just wanted to go for it and just make it because it would be done faster and I could wear it. And she would be like, no, we have to make a pattern. And so I try to abide a little bit by the pattern making rule, but I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to just go for it.
Go for it. I like, just go for it.
Yeah.
Well, and then so you have degrees in fashion, apparel design, and graphic design.
Yes.
But then you have a career right now as a tattoo artist. And oh, wait, but before we talk about the tattoos, I wanted to share this image. So tell us about this moment.
So my mom and I went to, so there's a convention that happens every year for My Little Pony collectors, and it travels states. That year, I think it was in Chicago, maybe. But my mom agreed to cosplay with me. She had never cosplayed ever before, but she agreed to cosplay with me. And so we made her this pony outfit, and we both cosplayed as ponies together.
I loved the idea of you guys traipsing around the convention together, and you both look fabulous, but I love your shoes.
Thank you.
Your shoes are so amazing. But tell me about your headdress.
So I 3D I laser cut it out at the Fab Lab here in town, and used a heat gun to bend to the crown, and then added some fiber optics behind it. Yeah.
So this is like a glowing princess crown with the fiber optic threads and everything. That it is
true to the character. I wanted it to be spot on, you know.
It is. So which ponies are you guys cosplaying as?
My mom is Twilight from the original series, and I am a UK exclusive princess pony.
Oh, and that's something that's interesting, I think, about ponies is as I was reading up on them, I mean, they were worldwide, but there were lines that were just in Brazil or Greece or the UK or China. They are international, and this is like a international movement.
Yeah, they call the ones that are specific to different countries Nirvana ponies. Like you've reached Nirvana, the Nirvana ponies. And one of my grails is a Nirvana pony, and it's called the Piggy Pony, and it was only made in Spain. And it had a lot to do with, like, licensing and what other countries were allowed to do. Some of the countries were really strict with licensing, and some of them were like, yeah, make whatever. And then, like, so the Piggy Ponies look like little pigs. They have funny little snouts, and they have, like, hooves, and, like, it was just some sort of wild amalgamation of what Spain thought the ponies should look like. And they even had their own line of clothing based on the Piggy Ponies. I will have to look that up and see what a Piggy Pony looks like, because they're weird. People thought they were fake when they first discovered them. People were like, those aren't real ponies, and it was discovered that they were manufactured in a Hasbro facility. So,
and that's interesting too. Are there a lot of sort of knockoff ponies that were manufactured in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, they're called fakies, and some people even like exclusively collect fakies or collect them in addition to. And there's some really weird, funny ones. So it's fun. I don't personally collect them.
I want to talk about a couple of your other, or the other things you have behind you. But before we do that, I want to show your current career, which is tattooing, because you make these really whimsical, imaginative, vibrant tattoos. So you're a tattoo artist.
Yes.
And so this is just one little snippet of some of your tattoos. And I love the way the cupcake tattoo also has ponies sort of as part of the frosting. I fell in love with the two-headed rabbit because it's so cute. And then tell us about the ones on the bottom.
Okay, so the Coochie Copy is from Bob's Burgers, and a client and I are working on a Bob's Burgers sleeve for her. So we started the Tina. The Tina's not done yet. We had to take a little pause on that. But yeah, so that's the start of a sleeve for her. And then the other one beside it, my client came to me wanting a portrait of her cat done as Marie Antoinette. And so we came up with that. And so, yeah, I'm really lucky to have really great imaginative clients that love colorful stuff just like I do. So I feel really lucky in that.
It is perfect. Like, it's the perfect portrait of the cat, but it is, you immediately, you know, it's Marie Antoinette. You've got the cake, you've got the hair. I mean, it's just perfect. And so you have this really great range of style, but you still have this like joy. Each of your designs are full of joy. So, and I love that the images of you tattooing your space is also pink and has kind of that, the collections behind you. So it's not, you just kind of emanate that joy in each of your spaces.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, work is such a pleasure. Like, I really enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the people I do it with. And so, like, I really want to create that environment wherever I am, that it feels like home. So I don't feel like I'm like not at home when I'm at work. You want to be comfortable, and like, you love the people you're around, why not love the space you're in as well? And so, yeah, I try to like work to customize my space, and for sure. And I think it gives something for clients to look at, because as much as we don't want to think about tattoos as hurting, they do. So it's nice to have a distraction and like look around and like not be thinking about pain for a moment.
That's true. Yeah, I would want to be in like a vibrant space, not in a dark space. So not an industrial space. I want to be in a place of like imagination and joy. So I love it.
Different strokes for different folks. I think Tulsa has so much talent and like so many like individual styles that people specialize in, and like I feel really lucky that I'm able to do the style that makes me happy. And I consider the mark of a successful tattoo a tattoo that I would have on my body.
Yes.
You know, and so I try to really do that work that, you know, makes me smile and makes me happy. And
absolutely,
I'm not one of those people that thinks all tattoos have to have meaning. Like, I think sometimes you can just look at them and they make you smile. Like, my husband is a tattoo artist as well. And so he's been tattooing a My Little Pony leg sleeve on me. We've got about 24 hours into a My Little Pony leg sleeve. So
oh my God.
It's the traveling collection. So
that's true. It goes with you everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. But I like to think of tattoos like that. Like, they are your traveling art gallery. What better way to support artists than like put their art on you forever?
Yes, exactly.
Pretty amazing.
Exactly. And tattooing is art. It is such an art, and it is so personal to the artist and to the client. Like, I love this kind of the collaboration that happens between the artist and the client. Yeah. And to have this kind of living body that you're working with is fascinating.
You know, one of my clients described it to me the other day, and I thought it just like so moved me in a weird way. She was like, tattoos are kind of rituals. Like, we're kind of having like this spirit connection right now. And I was like, man, you're right. And like, that's always in the back of my head. But some days, you know, you go into work and like you do the thing. But then that moment I was like, no, you're super right. Like, this is on you forever. And we're like forever connected. And so, yes. You know, I have a lot of art from a lot of really cool people. And like, I want to keep continuing that, because it's the memory and it's the art. You know, you're supporting artists and you're being a part of somebody's story just as much as, you know, it's all cyclical. It's all giving and supporting, and it's good stuff.
It is. And it's whatever that impetus it's from the impetus for the tattoo, whatever the life moment was, or the decision, or the feelings that they were having, and then that coming into you, and it is like you said, it is painful, so you're like working through that pain, and then there's the endorphins of when you see the beautiful art on your body. So it's like, I can see that ritual. It's like the whole like you said, cyclical. It's like it's this collaboration of working together and then coming through for the artwork.
Definitely. I think it's such a transformative thing for a lot of people, and it doesn't always have to be like, sometimes you might just go get a dumb tattoo, whatever, but
Exactly.
like I have a lot of clients that like, I have a lot of deep conversations with my clients, and like a lot of them are going through life things, and like these are the milestones that they're gonna remember, even if the tattoo's not about that. And
right.
Like so many people making such beautiful moves in their life, and like discovering themselves, and being a part of that journey is just really a big honor. Forever will be a big honor,
That's true. And or like you said, it could be just a little thing that you decide to do. And we at Philbrook, we did a program a couple of years ago called Tattoo Roulette, and so you bought a slot, and then you essentially got to pick one of 4 tattoos to get on your body. It was fun. It was really fun.
Justin Charles, correct?
Yeah.
He did my first tattoo of all time. He's super
really?
great. Yeah, I really like him. He's got a great shop, and yeah.
Well, and is there anything else? I love the little snippet that we have that we can see behind you in your room. And so besides My Little Ponies, are there other things that you collect?
Yeah, so other than clothes and bags and shoes and stuff, that feels so silly to say. It's not like I'm like, let me get a Michael Kors, not that there's anything wrong with that. But I collect like Neopets plush. I was a Neopets kid growing up, and then as adults. Any 90s girls toys I really like. Like I like the really glamorous big hair Barbies.
Is that a Care Bears tray behind you?
That is Lovely Lady Locks.
Lovely lady
dogs. Yeah, so she had the little animals you clipped in her hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like in toys, because it's like this moment of imagination and exploration with a toy. So like a toy, I think, has a possibility, all of the possibilities of all of the imaginative play that happened with that toy. And that so many kids had a toy that there's like this whole accumulation of imaginative play with a toy. And then there's also the design of the toys. So there's a lot of meaning like embedded within toys. And I must admit, when we were installing the toy wall, the toy cabinet, there was lots of like galloping, and the Star Wars figures. We you have to play with the toys. You have to play with the toys.
100%. Yeah, my friends own a toy shop here in town, Fan Fortress, and like it's just the most magical toy wonderland. And like, yeah, you can go, and it's like old school stuff, so you can have all the nostalgia you want, and like it's just super fun. And and yeah, I think we never outgrow being creative. And yeah.
Yes, exactly. Creative. So if somebody wanted to find you and maybe book a tattoo or talk to you about tattooing or at least connect for collecting, how would they find you?
Okay. So my tattoo page is Caroline Divine Tattoos, and you can find that on Instagram, or you can also search for it on Facebook. I have both. My collecting page is just Caroline Collects, but I don't know. I am more religious about posting to my tattoo page for sure.
So there's a community of collectors, right, in Oklahoma, that people can connect and share and talk about collecting.
Yeah, so there's the My Little Pony collectors here in Oklahoma, and we get together about once a year, sometimes biannually, and that's super cool. And a lot of times those people's collections spans a lot of like typically girls' toys from the 80s, 90s. But yeah, there's a lot of like collectors here in Oklahoma, and it's really, really interesting to connect. And the internet's given us this whole new like way to connect with people all over. And then conventions are super cool. Like meeting people in real life is like the craziest thing after you've known them online, is, some sort of wild username, and then you're like, oh, real life. There
Oh,
you
that's
are.
you.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, right, so you bring these friendships, and one thing that I didn't know about until researching My Little Ponies is there's a thing called bronies, but you're not necessarily a brony, right? So this is separate.
Yeah. So I collect only the like newer line of, or the older line of toys, like the 80s, 90s, and follow that cartoon. Nothing wrong, nothing against the brownies. Like they're just their own little fan group. They do their own thing. We don't share conventions with them. It's kind of its own separate thing. There's a lot of crossover in the community. Like a lot of people like the newer cartoons, and but it's just not my jam. It's a little too goofy for me. A little too goofy for me to enjoy. So.
Got it. Well, we absolutely love the ponies that you lent us, and I love the photos that you shared and all of your collection. And you truly are divine. You're wonderful, and we have loved getting to know you and visit with you, and we can't wait. So the exhibition is now open to the public. And we are so thrilled about that, and it'll be open into August, the first part of August. And so we hope people will come and see your ponies, come and see the whole exhibition. And I can't wait to walk you through the exhibition too.
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me the honor and taking the time to chat with me today. And
Absolutely.
it's been super cool. I can't wait to see the exhibit. I'm sure it's super awesome.
It's great. Thank you, Caroline. And thank you for sharing. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. You too.